Chapter 1711, Heavenly Court Battlefield. Chapter 1711, Heavenly Court Battlefield. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Left path. This was the path that limitless demon Venerable created 1,000,000 years ago during the Olden Antiquity era. The left path past Central Heaven Gate, Name Plaque Palace, Sun Palace, 5 Deity Hall, Central Great Hall, Heaven Overseeing Tower, Forgotten Tao Lake, and finally, it stopped at the Imperfection Regret Pavilion on the peak of Star Zone Mountain. The huge heavenly court was shining in glorious light, it had countless palaces and pavilions, it was a grand sight. Calamity Luck Altar charged ahead with an unstoppable momentum. Heavenly Court, which had been silent for a long time, finally met with an unavoidable attack. Within Calamity Luck Altar, 5 Elements Grandmaster watched and observed the situation. He was tongue-tied and deeply moved. If I was not seeing this personally, I would not believe that all these buildings here are Immortal Gu houses. Even though most are just rank 6 Immortal Gu houses, Heavenly Court's foundation is still too terrifying. Flower Lady of the Northern Desolation Immortals chuckled, 5 Elements, this is Heavenly Court after all. It was created 3,000,000 years ago during the remote Antiquity era, it had remained standing until today. Even though Fate Gu was damaged, it remained as the #1 force in this world. With such an accumulation, this is not a surprising sight. Look at these palaces, they are all the creation of famous rank 8 immortals from the remote Antiquity era. After modifications from future experts like Statue Deity, Ant Orchid, Yellow Court Monarch, Uncle Feng, and Concubine Quan Miao, they continued to develop and improve upon them, until they were completed today. All of the palaces and Immortal Gu houses are considered one entity, they can help each other. At the same time, these palaces can be separated and elevated on their own, it is very convenient. However, there is no need to overestimate Heavenly Court, these Immortal Gu houses are mostly just rank 6. And most importantly, they are only specialized in one aspect, they are not as comprehensive as the Immortal Gu houses outside. 5 Elements Grandmaster nodded, I understand, if it is comprehensive, even more Immortal Gu will need to be used, as well as a vast number of Mortal Gu. Heavenly Court is very proud, other than the 3 demon venerables who attacked, nobody dared to invade them. Thus, there was no need for such investments in their opinion, after all, these Immortal Gu houses are kept in Heavenly Court most of the time, they are not too useful. Saying so, 5 Elements Grandmaster suddenly laughed loudly, so that's it. We attacked Heavenly Court and caught them unguarded at this moment. This is their weakness, interesting. Other than 3 demon venerables, to think that I will also attack Heavenly Court. Even if I die here, with this experience, my life was not in vain. 5 Elements Grandmaster was filled with grand aspirations. He was a Northern Plainsman, even though he was rank 8, his nature was that of a Northern Plainsman, it had never changed. The people of Northern Plains sought glory through combat, it was a shame to live as a loser. For them, dying in the battlefield was the greatest honor and recognition. Calamity Luck Altar forced its way through, finally arriving at Central Heaven Gate. This huge gate was like a mountain adorned with beautiful golden ornaments, it was held by tall and thick pillars, there were shining pearls and gems on its frame. This is Central Heaven Gate. It looks like an information path Immortal Gu house. 5 Elements Grandmaster looked around as he pondered. Indeed, Heavenly Court only recruits new members who are elites of the 10 great ancient sections. These rank 8 elites would have to pass the test in Central Heaven Gate before they join Heavenly Court. Bull Demon said. Central Heaven Gate was shut tight, it blocked Calamity Luck Altar from advancing further. In Central Great Hall. Duke Long asked, Central Heaven Gate is a rank 8 information path Immortal Gu house but it has weak defenses, it cannot stop them for long. How many golden pearls do we have in the storage? Fairy Z Wei replied immediately, 3,600. Duke Long nodded, take them all out and use them to help Central Heaven Gate defend against the enemy. I am certain that Longevity Heaven has trump cards up its sleeves, Northern Plains has courageous people but they are not without wisdom. We need to remain calm and deal with them without panicking, we will stall for time and wait until Fate Gu is restored, all our hard work and sacrifice will pay off in the end. Yes, sir. Fairy Ziwei answered as she manipulated the central Great Hall. The central Great Hall was the control area of all the Heavenly Court Immortal Gu houses. Using it, Fairy Ziwei opened Heavenly Court's treasury and took out all of their golden pearls. Cling cling cling. There was a sharp noise as golden pearls fell down like rain. There were golden sparkles as they poured down. Calamity Luck Altar crashed into Central Heaven Gate as it started to crack from the pressure. The golden pearls landed on Calamity Luck Altar and created continuous sharp noises. Calamity Luck Altar remained unaffected, there were no cracks on it. However, the golden pearls started to show their true effect, as the peels turned into huge soldiers that were armored all over their bodies. Under the shadows of their helmets, only their 2 eyes were shining with piercing golden light. They had weapons like axes, blades, and spears in their hands. Soon, these golden pearl soldiers surrounded Calamity Luck Altar. Countless blades and spears slashed and stabbed at Calamity Luck Altar, causing many sparks to appear. Calamity Luck Altar shook intensely. In order to defend from the attacks, immortal essence was rapidly expended. What is this? 5 Elements Grandmaster was shocked. Each soldier has the strength of an ancient desolate beast but possesses no life force. This looks like an immortal killer move. These are golden pearls. During the medieval antiquity era, there was a metal path great expert in Heavenly Court. He was known as the Golden Pearl Immortal King. These golden pearls were his signature killer move, a method unique to him. Bull Demon said plainly. Flower Lady giggled as she covered her mouth. Heavenly Court is only tossing these golden pearls while Fairy Ziwei and Duke Long are not showing up. It seems that they are trying to stall for time until Fate Gu gets restored. Bull Demon nodded. This is a wise decision. Even though Heavenly Court is huge, there are only a few rank 8 Gu immortals who are awake. The battlefield outside is depleting and splitting up Heavenly Court's current force. Then we need to make use of this time. Flower Lady's eyes shined. Bull Demon said in a low tone, let me do it. Saying so, he concentrated and started to manipulate Calamity Luck Altar. A method was activated by Bull Demon as Calamity Luck Altar started to shine in a blinding light. Within the light, auspicious clouds formed and pushed all the golden pearl soldiers away. At the next moment, with a loud bang, Calamity Luck Altar broke through Central Heaven Gate. Longevity Heaven's group did not slaughter these golden pearl soldiers or attack the heavily damaged Central Heaven Gate, they only pushed forward. This was a battle that was determined by time. Since Heavenly Court wanted to stall for time, Longevity Heaven's group had to make use of that and prevent them from succeeding. Along the way, golden pearl soldiers continued to obstruct them but could not stop Calamity Luck Altar's advancement. Soon, Longevity Heaven's Gu immortals arrived at Name Plaque Palace. But what they saw was that Name Plaque Palace flew high up into the sky. Heavenly Court actually moved this Name Plaque Palace away. 5 Elements Grandmaster was happy but suspicious. Bing Sai Chuan said in a low tone, this is also an information path Immortal Gu house, there are name plaques inside, each has a person's name. These people form a huge information network for Heavenly Court, they are all over the 5 regions. 5 Elements Grandmaster was shocked, so that means, if we destroy it, Heavenly Court's information network will be exposed. No wonder they had to move it away at any cost. 5 Elements Grandmaster felt that it was a pity. Heavenly Court's information network was huge, it covered all 5 regions. Even though other regions were trying to get information on other regions, their scale and reach could not compare to Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court had the 10 great ancient sects as their subordinate forces, they had ruled over Central Continent for many eras, they were naturally able to select suitable people to nurture as elites and send to other regions secretly. As for the other 4 regions, Longevity Heaven and Southern Alliance had only surfaced recently, trying to unify their own regions. As for other super clans, even if they sent people out, compared to Heavenly Court, they were too small and insignificant. Forget it, we had already anticipated that Name Plaque Palace would fly away. Without its obstruction, we can save a lot of time and advance faster. Bing Sai Chuan ordered. Sun Palace. Calamity Luck Altar soon arrived at the 3rd obstacle. Sun Palace gave out a heated light, it was too blinding. The surroundings of the palace were distorted from the warm air, intense heat assaulted everyone. Even though Longevity Heaven's members were inside Calamity Luck Altar, they still felt immense heat that burned them endlessly. The immortals tried to move Calamity Luck Altar to charge through, but even without getting too close, the surface of Calamity Luck Altar started melting. A vast number of mortal goo were charred and incinerated. Sun Palace was so strong that Calamity Luck Altar could not get close. It controlled the illumination of the whole of Heavenly Court. It had multiple light path rank 8 immortal goo as the cores. Even though it was very weak in defense, even lower than Central Heaven Gate, Calamity Luck Altar could not approach it. Boom! 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 Calamity Luck Altar stayed in the air as killer moves were activated, attacking Sun Palace from afar. But all sorts of killer moves melted from the heat and light of Sun Palace before they even landed. This obstacle is too hard. We do not have any light path or dark path experts helping us. Five Elements Grandmaster frowned deeply. No need to worry. Bull Demon spoke. Sun Palace is strong on the outside and weak on the inside. As long as we can get in, we will be able to destroy it. I will go. Okay, let's go together. Flower Lady chuckled as she lay on his shoulder, feeling no nervousness at all. Five Elements Grandmaster was greatly shocked. He knew how dangerous that was. The light was too intense. Without proper defense, even rank 8 goo immortals could not last long. They would melt like candles. Isn't that too dangerous? We can think of other ways. Five Elements Grandmaster said cautiously. Bing Sai Chuan shook his head. Speed is the key, go. He controlled Calamity Luck Altar as it attacked, paving a way for Bull Demon and Flower Lady. Bull Demon and Flower Lady shot out with incredible speed. They were about to get into Sun Palace in just an instant. Wishful thinking. Fairy Z-Wei, who was in the central Great Hall, smiled coldly as Sun Palace's intensity surged. Oh no! Five Elements Grandmaster shouted in dismay. At the crucial moment, Flower Lady shouted as her tiny body jumped, turning into a pink light that shielded Bull Demon. Bull Demon cried out in pain. He charged into Sun Palace without stopping. Fairy Z-Wei's expression turned grim. She said bitterly, Sun Palace has been taken down. After 10 breaths of time, Sun Palace was destroyed. Without Sun Palace, the whole of Heavenly Court sky became dark. In the rubble, Bull Demon carried Flower Lady's corpse as he returned to Calamity Luck Altar with an expressionless face. Sun Palace was destroyed. Longevity Heaven also paid a price. Flower Lady died. Looking at the silent Bull Demon, Five Elements Grandmaster wanted to console him, but no words came out after he opened his mouth. Bull Demon and Flower Lady were together known as the Northern Desolation Immortals. They were usually extremely close and never left each other's side. Now that one was sacrificed while the other survived, this pain was truly deep and heavy. Even though Flower Lady died, she had a smile on her face. Bull Demon looked at Flower Lady's corpse for a long time. She eventually turned into scattering flower petals. Only a tiny delicate flower remained. Bull Demon placed this flower on his head carefully and gently. It was completely different from his usual cold and tough appearance. Continue. Bull Demon turned around and looked towards the front. Under Bing Sai Chuan's manipulation, Calamity Luck Altar continued to move ahead. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1712, Battle of Legendary Desolate Beasts. Chapter 1712, Battle of Legendary Desolate Beasts. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Once Sun Palace was destroyed, the next was 5 Deity Hall. And after 5 Deity Hall, it would be the central Great Hall that Fairy Z-Wei and Duke Long were in. Longevity Heaven's Gu immortals came with determination. They attacked ferociously without concern for sacrifices. Heavenly Court's immortals felt deep pressure. We cannot let them continue with this any farther. Duke Long turned to Fairy Z-Wei. Have you deployed all of them already? Fairy Z-Wei's expression was quite ugly. Only 2 came. Duke Long was dazed before he spoke. Xianxia didn't come. So be it. When it agreed to join Heavenly Court back then, there was already an agreement with Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. The two that came should be able to block Calamity Luck Altar for some time with their strength. 5 Deity Hall was already in sight. Suddenly, a sandstorm brewed, waves of sand blocked Calamity Luck Altar. Roar! A tiger's roar resounded in the surroundings. The sand waves spread apart as a hill-like tiger was exposed from within. The fierce tiger had overwhelming aura, its body seemed to be made of metal, it had golden skin and silver teeth, its eyes resembled sparkling rubies, emanating fierce light. On the tiger's forehead, the marking was not but 1. 5 Elements Grandmaster took a glance and expressed his shock. Heavenly Court also has legendary immemorial desolate beasts. Of course. Bing Sai Chuan had a plain expression. Heavenly Court has a total of 3 legendary immemorial beasts. This huge tiger looks like a tiger, but it is actually a shabi. This is a type of monster that is formed in the fiendish Qi Sea Spring. Right now, Qi Path is going extinct, the fiendish Qi Sea Spring is already extinct, this is the only shabi left. During the Olden Antiquity era, Heavenly Court's Qi Path Great Expert 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch nurtured it. After he became rank 8 and traveled the world, he purposely looked for the fiendish Qi Sea Springs and created the shabi from them. He refined a total of 99 shabi, he formed a grand army with them. These shabi were compatible with his immortal killer moves, he could use them extremely well. During that era, almost nobody could rival him. But now, this is the final one. This shabi was one of the last few created, it was number 95. Thus, it had been named as such, but after Ancestor Giant's son got invited to Heavenly Court and saw this shabi, he named it shabi 95. 1. So there was such a backstory. No wonder Lord has such a deep understanding of it. 5 Elements Grandmaster sighed in admiration. He looked behind him, only to see that Shabi 95 had whipped up a sandstorm, fighting against Calamity Luck Altar with a grand commotion, displaying peak rank 8 battle strength. Bing Sai Chuan analyzed closely. Shabi 95 resides in Eternal Sand Cave, it was deployed by Heavenly Court to come here. Green Jade Crane Ruan Dan will likely come here too, while Xianxia is probably not coming. 5 Elements Grandmaster asked, Ruan Dan, Xianxia, are they the remaining 2 legendary immemorial beasts? At the same time, he felt puzzled inside. Why was Bing Sai Chuan so certain that Xianxia would not join the battle? Did they have spies in Heavenly Court? Bing Sai Chuan answered, indeed. Ruan Dan is an immemorial green jade crane, it was nurtured by Immortal Crane Sect and created Pill Path, it resides in Heavenly Court to cultivate in normal times. As for Xianxia, it is that vast heaven vine. This vine has incredible power and abilities, it sprouts in 300 years, blossoms in 300 years, and bears fruits in 300 years. The fruits that it creates are called vast heaven fruits, if used in a grotto heaven, it can expand the size of the immortal aperture sky. Thus, this vast heaven vine is also known as the 10th heaven of this world. 10th heaven of this world. 5 Elements Grandmaster shook, he suddenly realized as he pointed left, that huge vine pillar that extends towards the limits of the sky. Heavenly Court had countless palaces, there was a huge vine that connected heaven and earth, it was even taller than the heaven overseeing tower behind the central Great Hall, it was very eye-catching. When 5 Elements Grandmaster invaded Heavenly Court, he noticed it immediately. That's right, the vast heaven vine was brought in by Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable personally, it had an agreement with him, it is a unique existence in Heavenly Court, it does not need to follow orders, but only has to provide a batch of vast heaven fruits every 1,000 years. 5 Elements Grandmaster heard this as he felt his horizons broadening, he had never thought that there would be a legendary immemorial desolate plant in this world that could ignore Heavenly Court's orders. But thinking about it, he knew why. The vast heaven vine's ability was too unique and special. With these vast heaven fruits, Heavenly Court could continue to increase the skies of the immortal aperture and increase its foundation. Rather than saying that the vast heaven vine could ignore Heavenly Court's orders, it was more like Heavenly Court was making use of it and allowing it some degree of freedom. At the moment, in the central Great Hall. Oh no! Fairy Ziwei frowned, this calamity luck altar is fake. What? Duke Long looked over. Fairy Ziwei was in control of Central Great Hall. She had been using the palaces and countless immortal Gu houses to observe Central Continent. She obviously kept a high amount of concentration on Heavenly Court situation. Heaven Overseeing Tower could not be moved normally. Fairy Ziwei mobilized the other immortal Gu houses, shooting out a crystal rainbow light. The rainbow light tore through the skies, landing on Calamity Luck Altar. Calamity Luck Altar shook before it returned to its original form. This was a four-legged beast with purple fur. Its body was huge, even larger than the Shabi. It was like a ferret, its body covered in shiny purple fur, its eyes were shining with a purple crystal-like color, there was a dog tail on its back. Oh! You finally realized, you fools from Heavenly Court. Ha ha ha. The purple ferret laughed loudly, mocking its enemies. You are Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's dog tail life-extending ferret, Mao Li Chiu. Shabi 95 was very shocked, it spoke human words. The purple ferret's expression sank, it quickly moved out like a purple flash of lightning. Boom! Sand splattered, the dog tail life-extending ferret pressed down on the Shabi as it opened its mouth, saying with a fierce expression and low tone, remember, call me Grandpa Mao. Shabi 95 was furious, growling, in terms of age, I am your grandfather instead. It struggled to get up but the dog-tail life-extending ferret did not budge. Shabi 95 was secretly shocked, this beast has such great strength. But how can I be suppressed like this? Ha ha ha, stupid cat and silly ferret, you two are a good couple, this is such an interesting fight. Right at this moment, laughter resounded above the two beasts. Dog-tail life-extending ferret looked up and saw a Gu immortal sitting on a cloud, looking at them with a smile. The dog-tail life-extending ferret's expression froze for a second before it realized, oh, so you are that green jade crane, why are you posing as a human? Come down, let your Grandpa Mao teach you how to be a proper bird again. The laughter stopped, the green jade crane was furious, you insolent ferret, I am going to tear your skin apart. The green jade crane was about to descend when it stopped all of a sudden. Fairy Ziwei had given it orders secretly, instead of fighting with dog-tail life-extending ferret Mao Li Chiu, it was supposed to head to 5 Deity Hall. The true Calamity Luck Altar had not shown itself but the route it could take was fixed. The green jade crane acknowledged the order and was about to leave and a huge shadow appeared in front of it. It looked up and its pupils shrunk. Mao Li Chiu had jumped into the sky and its huge form was crashing down while causing a vacuum behind it. The green jade crane shrieked before it returned to its true form, it flapped its wings and quickly got out of the casted shadow's range. But at the next moment, Mao Li Chiu's claws grabbed onto the green jade crane's leg. Come down here for your Grandpa Mao. The dog-tail life-extending ferret snickered as it pulled with its strong limb. The green jade crane flapped its wings furiously, but it soon discovered to its despair that any effort ended in vain. Slam, the green jade crane landed on the ground, causing a huge pit to form. The green jade crane's ears were buzzing, it only had one thought in its mind now, this Northern Plains brute has such great strength. The green jade crane struggled to get up but Mao Li Chiu pounced once again. Dust clouds rose as rocks were sent flying. The green jade crane continued to shriek. Ah! You thug, don't pull my feathers. Ah, you mindless beast, don't bite my leg. Don't touch my elegant neck you scumbag. My neck is breaking, it's breaking. Ah, my leg is breaking, my leg is breaking. Duke Long. Fairy Ziwei. 5 Elements Grandmaster. Bing Sai Chuan. Eventually, the green jade crane's screaming reached its limit. Stupid cat, what are you doing, why aren't you coming here and helping me? Haha, weren't you having a good time watching earlier? You two can play, I'm leaving. Shabi 95 laughed as it flew towards 5 Deity Hall. Where are you going? Mao Li Chiu snickered as a clone flew out of its body, pouncing at Shabi 95 with great speed. We are both males, why are you lying on top of me now? Shabi 95 was furious. The green jade crane agreed with these words wholeheartedly. It shrieked amidst the dust clouds, "That's right. Let us go if you have guts. Ah, stop kicking between my legs, you evil scumbag." Shabby 95 was very angry. It liked the action of pouncing on others, but it liked to be at the top. Being at the bottom was a disgrace and humiliation. Shabby 95 was struggling on the ground below Moonlight. It was furious and its teeth were exposed as it growled, "A mere clone, you want to obstruct me, you are simply looking down, At the next moment, Shabby 95's expression became dazed. It was a little fearful. Is this the main body or a clone? Why does it have such great strength? In the central Great Hall, Duke Long seemed to have realized something. This is because of Mao Li Chio's actions. Calamity Luck Altar obtained some crucial time. It finally arrived at 5 Deity Hall. I have already explained the details of 5 Deity Hall to you. It will depend on you now. Bing Sai Chuan said to 5 Elements Grandmaster. 5 Elements Grandmaster looked behind worriedly. Can Grandpa Mao do it? How long can it last? Don't worry, it is using the killer move Perfect Pair. This was the method of thieving Heaven Demon Venerable that my longevity heaven had searched for with great effort. It can summon a clone with the same battle strength as the main body. Bing Sai Chuan's lips curled up. Understood. 5 Elements Grandmaster's eyes shined with bright light, staring at 5 Deity Hall. 5 Deity Hall shook intensely. A giant spirit made of the 5 elements, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, formed and attacked Calamity Luck Altar. Calamity Luck Altar burst out with profound light. 5 Elements Grandmaster was directly sent into 5 Deity Hall. The 5 Elements giant spirit was furious. It wanted to defend, but Calamity Luck Altar shot out an incredible attraction force that restrained it. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1713, Battle Between Venerables. Chapter 1713, Battle Between Venerables. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Bam bam bam. With a chain of explosions, 5 Deity Hall was blown to smithereens amidst a huge fire. 5 Elements Grandmaster stepped on thin air as he walked out. Even though there was some soot on his face, he was unharmed. Next, he went inside Calamity Luck Altar. 5 Elements Grandmaster laughed loudly. Even though this 5 Deity Hall is extraordinary, I am very familiar with its concept. My methods directly counter it. This was much easier than I had expected it to be. As he said that, a sense of pride emerged in him. Bing Sai Chuan looked at him and said plainly, "Of course it is. The formation path methods that you use are part of my ancestor giant son's arrangements." 5 Elements Grandmaster was stunned. His expression changed as he looked at Bing Sai Chuan. "What do you mean?" Bing Sai Chuan gave him a glance, showing a smile full of deep meaning. "Why do you think you managed to enter longevity heaven when you attacked? Do you remember the most important words of your inheritance? Do you find them nonsensical? Try reading them in reverse, but only the last word of each sentence." 5 Elements Grandmaster was immediately suspicious. He was a lone cultivator from birth. His turning point was the mysterious lone immortal formation path true inheritance that he found. It led to his achievements. Ever since I obtained the true inheritance, I cultivated non-stop and had never spoken of it to others. How does Bing Sai Chuan know that my true inheritance has those important sentences? I have never understood what it was saying. Reverse the order and read the last word of each line. Listen to Bing Sai Chuan and attack Heavenly Court. 5 Elements Grandmaster was lost for words. He stared at Bing Sai Chuan in disbelief. Bing Sai Chuan controlled Calamity Luck Altar to move forward while saying slowly, "Even if a rank 9 Venerable does not cultivate Wisdom Path, at their level, they have already gained a deep understanding of the path. It is not hard to set up arrangements that will affect future generations." Back then, after Ancestor Giant's son visited Heavenly Court, he made plans for today's invasion. The method to destroy 5 Deity Hall was part of his arrangements. But if he displayed his research results so openly, traces would be left behind and Heavenly Court would notice them. Thus, he secretly left an arrangement that was independent of longevity heaven. he allowed it to develop on its own and be cultivated by a lone cultivator. Because you are not of Giant Sun's bloodline, even if you become a rank 8, Heavenly Court would not expect your methods to counter 5 Deity Hall. They would not think of you and link it to our invasion of Heavenly Court. Saying so, Bing Sai Chuan paused and continued, Grandmaster, the climatic battle involving Fate Gu is far more complex than you can ever imagine. Rank 6 and 7 Gu Immortals are not even qualified to join. As for rank 8 Gu Immortals, we are merely pawns. Some rank 8s refuse to join in, that is because they sense something and understand their own self-worth. Some joined but are ignorant of the true situation. The truth behind this great battle is the fight of past venerables across time and space. 5 Elements Grandmaster was stunned from hearing this. He muttered, fighting across time and space, a battle between venerables. In human history, there were 10 venerables. Each one was invincible in their own era, they were at the apex of history, the greatest pride of humanity. Bing Sai Chuan revealed the truth. 5 Elements Grandmaster was deeply shocked. He could not help but feel his own insignificance, his pride from earlier vanished without a trace. Bing Sai Chuan glanced at 5 Elements Grandmaster's look of shock as he consoled, but don't worry, among the venerables, Ancestor Giant Sun is the most caring towards his descendants and subordinates. He gained a nickname back then because of this. The venerables all have their own arrangements, they want to exert their influence at this crucial moment, but after the merciless tides of history, most of these arrangements have been altered in some way. Rank 9 venerables are not all-knowing, they would make mistakes too, many arrangements have been completely changed due to the passing of time. A large number of them were discovered by future venerables and got modified. Ancestor Giant Sun came after Genesis Lotus and Thieving Heaven, he was succeeded by Spectral Soul and Paradise Earth. The venerables who appear later would naturally have an advantage in setting up their arrangements. Our attack on Heavenly Court succeeded to this extent, the reason is obvious. Bing Sai Chuan's words made 5 Elements Grandmaster go into a daze. Bing Sai Chuan chuckled afterwards, so what if there is Duke Long? Can he compare to Ancestor Giant Sun's arrangements? No need to worry so much, you must have confidence that we will succeed. In this expedition, our Longevity Heaven will definitely obtain Fate Gu. Obtain Fate Gu? At this moment, 5 Elements Grandmaster finally realized Longevity Heaven's objective in attacking Heavenly Court. That's right. Bing Sai Chuan admitted openly, there was no need to hide anything now, Heavenly Court came to snatch our fortune rivaling Heaven Gu, why can't we come after their Fate Gu? Why is Heavenly Court the #1 human force? Fate Gu played a crucial role in it. After getting it, our Longevity Heaven will definitely obtain the throne of the #1 human force. In Central Great Hall. Fairy Zi Wei looked as Calamity Luck Altar got closer, she had a serious expression, they are coming. At her side, Old Man Zheng Yuan was also expressing his concern. Even though the Central Great Hall was the control area of all the immortal Gu houses, it had low defense. After all, who would think that Heavenly Court's Central Great Hall would be attacked by enemies? Even though this Central Great Hall was once attacked by 3 demon venerables and even got destroyed, Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals did not reinforce its defense later on. Because against venerables, no matter how strong Central Great Hall's defense was, it could not defend against a venerable, there was no point. Now it seemed like Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had already noticed this flaw when he toured Heavenly Court. Longevity Heaven's assault caught Heavenly Court off guard, Fairy Zi Wei and the rest were in a passive situation. It seems that the true flaw is not in terms of defense but mindset. Fairy Zi Wei had an understanding as she said, I seem to have missed out something. Is it? How long until Fate Gu is fully restored? At this moment, Duke Long asked. Fairy Zi Wei was in charge of the Central Great Hall, she knew the situation of the refinement path formation, she had a heavy heart as she answered, we need 6 hours. 6 hours. Duke Long was joyful, my lifespan is almost used up, but heaven has taken pity on me, even though 6 hours is not a lot, I will be able to see Fate Gu restored. Next, let me handle this. Fairy Zi Wei asked worriedly, Lord Duke Long, your injuries have yet to Even though Heavenly Court tried its best to heal him, Duke Long's injuries still remained. This was caused by the joint attack of Eastern Sea's rank 8 Gu immortals. In the short time, even Duke Long could not heal himself fully. Duke Long smiled plainly, "I am about to die anyway, these injuries do not matter. In any case, I have the killer move Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand. At the final moments of my life, in all 5 regions, is there anyone who can match me in battle?" He had a plain expression, but his words revealed utter confidence and dominance. Calamity Luck Altar was like a huge beast as it charged down at the central Great Hall. Air was sliced apart, wild winds roared. If it hit, the entire central Great Hall would be reduced to shambles. At this moment, a single small body appeared, blocking its path. Duke Long. 5 Elements Grandmaster shouted. "Smash into him!" Bull Demon said. Boom! The hill-like Calamity Luck Altar crashed down ferociously, but it was stopped in midair. A dragon claw forced it to stop. Duke Long floated in the air, his body did not move but his right hand had turned into sharp dragon claws, grabbing onto Calamity Luck Altar and preventing it from moving any further. This? 5 Elements Grandmaster was deeply shocked. Bull Demon was also in disbelief. He alone managed to stop Calamity Luck Altar so easily. Unbelievable. If I was not seeing this personally, I would never believe it. Crack. The dragon claws exerted strength as they dug into Calamity Luck Altar. Cracks started to form and spread around the dragon claws. Calamity Luck Altar started to shine in a piercing light. Immortal killer moves were used on Duke Long, who was in close proximity. Despite being bathed in explosions and impacts, Duke Long's body remained unmoved. Roar! An immense aura and chi burst out of his body. The chi gathered and formed into dragons that coiled around Calamity Luck Altar, squeezing it. What method is this? Duke Long had not used it in the Eastern Sea battle. Bull Demon squinted. He suddenly had a flash of inspiration, uttering, "There is no invincible immortal Gu, only invincible Gu immortal." 5 Elements Grandmaster was shocked once again. Dragon Chi killer move had unparalleled might. 5 Elements Grandmaster knew clearly that if he had to face the attack, he would not last long. Calamity Luck Altar was a rank 8 immortal Gu house, but it was still suppressed by Duke Long single-handedly. Longevity Heaven's members could already see victory in the horizons. Heaven Overseeing Tower was right ahead, but Duke Long obstructed them, turning their hope of victory into an unattainable dream. Duke Long was just one person, but he was an obstacle that they could not get past. He is just rank 8, how can our difference be this immense? Lord Bing Sai Chuan, what do we do? 5 Elements Grandmaster was out of ideas. The difference in battle strength could not be made up for with courage. 5 Elements Grandmaster looked at Bing Sai Chuan, but he had already gone missing. Where did he go? At the next moment, Bing Sai Chuan appeared behind Duke Long. His time path killer move that had been prepared for a long time landed on Duke Long's head. Success. Bing Sai Chuan's pupils shrunk. Duke Long did not move, instead a vast wave of dragon chi shot out with a loud roar. The dragon mouth bit Bing Sai Chuan as it flew up, restraining him in the air. Bing Sai Chuan relied on his defenses to hold on while he used killer moves to try and get out of the dragon chi's restraint. But his actions were futile. The dragon chi was not indestructible, but its speed of recovery was just too fast. You are clearly injured, this is definitely not your usual battle strength. Bing Sai Chuan gritted his teeth. How can you possibly comprehend the profundity of my killer move, Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand? Duke Long looked at Bing Sai Chuan plainly as he placed his focus back on Calamity Luck Altar. Calamity Luck Altar was filled with cracks, it was surrounded by countless dragon-shaped chi that pressed down on it, a large number of Gu worms continued to die. Calamity Luck Altar could not break free, if this went on, it would definitely be destroyed. 5 Elements Grandmaster gritted his teeth, let me go out, I would rather die in combat by Duke Long's hands than die here without doing anything. Bull Demon was silent. Bing Sai Chuan suddenly snickered, I am not your match, but so what? I have my trump card. I respectfully request, Limitless, please turn around. What? This time, it was Duke Long's turn to be shocked. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1714, Limitless takes action. Chapter 1714, Limitless takes action. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. A million years ago. Olden Antiquity era. Limitless Demon Venerable attacked Heavenly Court and moved unhindered, even though Heavenly Court's Gu immortals tried to stop him, they were powerless. Limitless Demon Venerable moved at a casual speed, but none of Heavenly Court's Gu immortals could match him, they suffered huge losses and deaths. Central Heaven Gate broke into shrapnel, Name Plaque Palace did not even have the time to fly away, in front of Limitless Demon Venerable, Sun Palace and 5 Deity Hall were thin as paper, they were simply like a joke. Eventually, when Limitless Demon Venerable arrived before the central Great Hall, Heavenly Court shook, star constellations will descended and activated Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's arrangement, 9 consecutive unceasing formation. Limitless Demon Venerable landed in the formation and only managed to escape after destroying 100 formations. Below Heaven Overseeing Tower. Limitless Demon Venerable looked at Star Constellation's will, Star Constellation, we are both venerables, you spent so much effort to try and restrict me, even though I hate you, I also admire you. Right now, you are dead while I am alive, no matter how many methods you left behind, so what? You want to stop a living Gu Venerable? That is impossible. Rank 9 Venerables are invincible in this world, only other Venerables can deal with them. Star Constellations will smiled bitterly, she opened a path to Heaven Overseeing Tower, of course I understand what you are saying. But how can I give up without even trying? Please enter. Limitless Demon Venerable raised his eyebrows, not stopping me anymore. Star Constellations will said expressionlessly, since I cannot stop you, what's the point? Limitless, since you want to destroy Fate Gu, I will accompany you to see it. Limitless Demon Venerable was stunned for a moment, a slight smile appeared on his flawless face. Interesting. He said softly as he walked up Heaven Overseeing Tower alongside Star Constellation's will, when they arrived at the top, they saw Fate Gu. Not long after, Limitless Demon Venerable left the tower, walking out. The Heavenly Court Gu immortals who were deeply injured became greatly surprised, because Limitless Demon Venerable did not destroy Fate Gu. It was still in perfect condition at the top of Heaven Overseeing Tower, nobody knew what happened inside the tower, or what Star Constellations Will and Limitless Demon Venerable talked about. In the end, Limitless Demon Venerable still had a cold expression, but a slight anger could be felt from his gaze. He looked around, wherever his gaze landed, Heavenly Court's Gu immortals felt a deep chill, their morale fell to rock bottom. Finally, Limitless Demon Venerable looked at Star Constellations Will, Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, you two definitely left many more methods in your lifetimes, are you looking down on me? Use them all, I want to see them myself. Star Constellation sighed bitterly. But Limitless Demon Venerable was bent on fighting, she could only entertain him. Thus, a bloody battle continued. Heavenly Court's Gu immortals were sacrificed in Limitless Demon Venerable's hands, countless died. Wherever Limitless Demon Venerable went, pool of blood and corpses appeared. Star Constellations will follow behind him, watching calmly as he slaughtered endlessly. After a while, the water of Forgotten Dao Lake became blood-red in color. Limitless Demon Venerable squinted, the feeling of joy from slaughtering emerged in his heart. At this moment, he looked at the lake's ripples as he asked, what lake is this? Forgotten Dao Lake. Forgotten Dao Lake. The lake suits the name, it is a good lake. It is too much of a pity if I destroy it. Limitless Demon Venerable suddenly became energetic, Forgotten Dao, but who can really forget their Dao? After some silence, Star Constellations will said, since you already came to Heavenly Court, why don't you take a look around? Limitless Demon Venerable looked at star constellations with deep meaning. Aren't you afraid that I will destroy Heavenly Court? Star constellations was very calm. You cannot destroy Heavenly Court. Not only will Master's supreme methods activate when Heavenly Court faces a fatal crisis, even if you succeed in destroying Heavenly Court, can you destroy Fate Gu? Saying so, star constellations will showed a solemn expression, and most importantly, the true Heavenly Court is not here, it is within our hearts. Even if Heavenly Court is destroyed, a new generation will rebuild it. Limitless, you can't live forever, right? Limitless Demon Venerable stood silently on the spot, staring at star constellations as his gaze became icy cold. Star constellations looked straight at him with a calm expression. A long while later, Limitless Demon Venerable nodded, as expected of star constellation, you are absolutely right. Star constellations felt no surprise, let's continue the tour. Limitless Demon Venerable went up Star Zone Mountain, he saw a pavilion at the peak. It was naturally an immortal Gu house. Limitless Demon Venerable stepped into the pavilion, looking down at the whole of Heavenly Court. Other than the bloody road that he created through his slaughter until now, the other areas were still grand and elegant. Limitless Demon Venerable breathed in deeply, he was revitalized. This is a good pavilion, what is its name? Imperfection Regret Pavilion. Star constellations answered. Limitless Demon Venerable's eyes shined, this rank 8 immortal Gu house had no secret in front of him, he could understand the profundity and structure of the construct at first glance. He nodded, Imperfection Regret Pavilion, it is a good name, it is quite appropriate. Regret, I could not accomplish my goal in this trip, it is truly a great regret. But whose life can be perfect without imperfection or regrets? He seemed to be asking star constellations but he also looked like he was mumbling to himself, his tone was quite complex. Star constellations was silent. Limitless Demon Venerable suddenly laughed as his expression vanished, he became cold and aloof again. He clapped, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, these are truly impressive arrangements. However, my interest is piqued again. Star constellations had a change of expression. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's arrangement was not just the 9 consecutive unceasing formation, in truth, Forgotten Tao Lake and Imperfection Regret Pavilion were also part of her meticulous setup. Comment. Limitless Demon Venerable was invincible in the world, he could not be blocked, the only way to preserve Heavenly Court was by eliminating his killing intent and fighting spirit. In this aspect, Wisdom Path Gu Immortals were the most proficient. Even though Limitless Demon Venerable was affected by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, his fighting spirit only fell for a moment before it returned. Limitless Demon Venerable did not attack again, he looked at Star Constellation's I was born in the wrong era, it is a pity that I cannot be part of the great era a million years later. Star Constellation, the same applies for you, in that case, I have a suggestion. Please go ahead. Why don't we play a game of chess in this pavilion? Chess. Star Constellations was stunned, sure, both of us need this chessboard after all. For the next few days, Limitless Demon Venerable stayed inside Imperfection Regret Pavilion as he played chess with Star Constellations When Limitless Demon Venerable left, Star Constellations also vanished within the pavilion. Imperfection Regret Pavilion thus became a forbidden area of Heavenly Court. During normal times, Imperfection Regret Pavilion would have no commotion. But at times, Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals would be able to see 2 vague figures inside the pavilion. Regardless of what angle they were at, they could only see the sides of these 2 people. One was male and the other was female, they resembled Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Limitless Demon Venerable. But any Heavenly Court Gu Immortal who saw this sight would usually die days later. The lucky few who survived would feel an absurd increase in their strength. Years later, Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable went to Imperfection Regret Pavilion and wanted to get rid of this threat, but in the end, he shook his head as he left Star Zone Mountain. Many years passed again. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was invited to tour Heavenly Court. He saw embroidered tower, he saw the 3 pieces of bloody skins left by reckless savage demon venerable, he entered heaven overseeing tower and saw Fate Gu. Finally, he came here but did not ascend the mountain, he only took a look at imperfection regret pavilion before he left. Comment. These records flashed by Duke Long's mind in an instant. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable is very crafty, he must have noticed something back then. Why is Bing Sai Chuan able to mobilize the power that limitless demon venerable left behind? Duke Long thought about it rapidly, he wanted to stop Bing Sai Chuan but he had no method to do so. He acutely sensed that a profound aura had emerged from Bing Sai Chuan's body before it vanished without a trace. Far away, at the peak of Star Zone Mountain, 2 shadows that were playing chess appeared on the empty imperfection regret pavilion, along with their chessboard. Even though only their sides could be seen, it was still possible to see that the female had unparalleled beauty, while the male had a cold expression. It was the scene of 2 venerables plotting against each other. Ripples appeared in the air, the still image of the 2 venerables started to turn bright. Star Constellation had a complex gaze, raising her head to look at Limitless. The person you are waiting for is here. Limitless Demon Venerable shook his head, sighing, he is not here yet, but there is someone from my homeland who has inherited one of my true inheritances, I have to help him. Saying so, he lifted a chess piece from the board and flicked it. In the entire process, Limitless Demon Venerable did not even take a look at the battlefield, much less turn around. The chess piece flew out of Imperfection Regret Pavilion as the image of the 2 venerables faded away, only an empty Imperfection Regret Pavilion was left. The chess piece flew at a shocking speed, it landed on Duke Long almost instantly. Duke Long's body shook intensely, shock expressed all over his face. Plop. At the next moment, Duke Long fell from the air, crashing on the ground. The power of the chess piece materialized as illusory silver-white chains, tying him up and stabbing into his phantom aperture, sealing all of his goo worms. Duke Long's eyes were wide opened, he could breathe normally but could not move an inch. He found that even though his strength was still around, whenever he tried to break free, the chains would emit similar strength that cancelled out all of his effort. This was a rank 9 immortal killer move. Duke Long was forcefully restrained, the dragon chi he created also dispersed. Calamity Luck Altar and Bing Sai Chuan regained their freedom. Bing Sai Chuan shouted loudly as he charged at Duke Long, but the strongest killer move that he used was easily blocked by the silvery chains the moment it reached Duke Long. Duke Long was unharmed. Bing Sai Chuan's heart sank, this rank 9 killer move restricts Duke Long but also protects him. Because this is a battle between venerables, even though there is limitless demon venerable's strength, Star Constellation Immortal Venerables will is also involved. Since he could not kill Duke Long, Bing Sai Chuan gave up that idea immediately. He jumped into Calamity Luck Altar and at the next moment, Calamity Luck Altar moved and the central Great Hall was smashed to bits. Fairy Z-Wei could only bring Old Man Zheng Yuan away as they escaped rapidly. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1715, Heavenly Court Awakens. Chapter 1715, Heavenly Court Awakens. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Fairy Z-Wei's expression was grim. The central Great Hall was the control area of Heavenly Court's palaces. Now that it was destroyed, Fairy Z-Wei's control fell drastically. She would need to expend a lot of time and effort to mobilize them now. But in intense battles like this, every breath of time was precious. The central Great Hall became a pile of rubbles, ahead of Calamity Luck Altar was a tall tower. Heaven Overseeing Tower. Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan had a heated gaze. Heaven Overseeing Tower was famous in the world, all Gu immortals in the 5 regions knew about it. Right now, it was still and motionless, a refinement path immortal formation was shining in bright light, enveloping it. Fate Gu is at the top of Heaven Overseeing Tower, it is being repaired using the refinement path formation. Bing Sai Chuan frowned. Heavenly Court's defenses were very tight. Heaven Overseeing Tower was actually the final line of defense. The Central Continent Refinement Path Convention was not over yet, but only the finals were left. Because countless Gu masters failed in their Gu refinement, there was already many success Dao marks inside infallible blessed land. These Dao marks were taken by Heavenly Court. They used them to repair Fate Gu, ensuring that nothing went wrong in the process. We cannot directly destroy this refinement path formation, otherwise, Fate Gu's recovery might be ruined due to the backlash. It will return to its originally injured state. We need to go in and snatch it. Thinking of this, Bing Sai Chuan gave orders to 5 Elements Grandmaster and Bull Demon. Bull Demon acknowledged the order while 5 Elements Grandmaster became hesitant. Lord Bing Sai Chuan, there might be a slight problem. If we gain a good chance to snatch Fate Gu but it has not been repaired fully yet, what do we do? This was a problem indeed. Heavenly Court had methods to restore Fate Gu. They were relying on human path killer moves, the Central Continent Refinement Path Convention, and a vast number of failures to create the success Dao marks in infallible blessed land that could be used to repair Fate Gu. Longevity Heaven did not have such methods. Bing Sai Chuan looked at 5 Elements Grandmaster. At this point in time, there was no need for any concealment. He said the truth, we want Fate Gu in such a state. It had been repaired by Heavenly Court for countless years, it is near complete recovery now. This is the Fate Gu that we want. A fully repaired Fate Gu cannot be used by anyone. Even Heavenly Court can only use it through a mortal Gu House Heaven Overseeing Tower, to look at the fate of all lifeforms in this world. If anyone can truly control Fate Gu, they will be able to decide the traces of fate, they will be able to manipulate the lives of all beings. It is a pity, even though the venerables of past generations tried so, none of them have ever succeeded. 5 Elements Grandmaster was curious. In that case, what is the point of snatching an incomplete Fate Gu? Bing Sai Chuan smiled lightly. We cannot control Fate Gu. The reason that the past venerables came up with was that the activation of Fate Gu has a high requirement, only heavens can control it. But this does not mean that we cannot use Fate Gu itself. Heavenly Court's Heaven Overseeing Tower is the best example. They are able to make use of Fate Gu, even though it is a minor usage. Other than that, Heavenly Court has another method, that is to use Fate Gu as an immortal material to refine it with a luck path Immortal Gu and create Destiny Gu. Destiny Gu. 5 Elements Grandmaster's pupils shrunk. Bing Sai Chuan's smile widened. That is the reason why Heavenly Court invaded Northern Plains to try and snatch fortune rivaling Heaven Gu for themselves. So that's it. 5 Elements Grandmaster realized. Bing Sai Chuan continued, but they do not know that the so-called Destiny Gu was first conceptualized by Ancestor Giant Sunday. Heavenly Court wants to refine rank 10 Destiny Gu in one go, they are too ambitious. We are different, we only want a rank 9 Destiny Gu, thus, the Fate Gu that we use does not need to be fully restored. As long as we have rank 9 Destiny Gu, my Longevity Heaven will be able to contest Heavenly Court. In the following great era, we will dominate and replace Heavenly Court, we will reign over the 5 regions, we can even become the supreme rulers of all beings in this world. 5 Elements Grandmaster was tongue-tied. Longevity Heaven's ambition was shocking, but he was also in deep admiration towards Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's plan. So Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had already planned for Heavenly Court's invasion long ago. Longevity Heaven only used the arrangements today. Hearing Bing Sai Chuan's explanation and encouragement, 5 Elements Grandmaster hesitated no more. He went with Bull Demon as they flew out towards the refinement path formation. Heaven Overseeing Tower was at the center of the formation. They had to charge up to the top of Heaven Overseeing Tower to take away Fate Gu. They've entered the formation. Old man Zheng Yuan watched from afar. He had a worried expression. Fairy Ziwei was not too worried. This refinement path formation was specially set up. It is not the refinement cauldron formation from earlier. Not only is Yuan Qiongdu inside, there are 2 other rank 8s helping with the Gu refinement. Even though the refinement cauldron formation was effective in repairing Fate Gu, because it was a copy of Langya Blessed Land's refinement cauldron, Heavenly Court stopped using it. After all, Longevity Heaven had already annexed Langya sect, they already had information of the Immortal Gu House Refinement Cauldron. Inside the Refinement Path formation, Yuan Xiongdu was the main person in charge. He had to concentrate and could not leave. The two Heavenly Court rank 8s helping him could temporarily stop their work and help protect Yuan Xiongdu. Thoughts flickered in Fairy Ziwei's mind continuously. Since Longevity Heaven sent people to invade the formation, they must be trying to snatch Fate Gu and not destroy it. That's why they are acting so cautiously. Only otherworldly demons can destroy Fate Gu, while Fang Yuan is at Emperor City now. We still have time. Thinking of this, Fairy Ziwei did not join the battle. Instead, she placed Old Man Zheng Yuan under protection. Old Man Zheng Yuan only had rank 7 cultivation level. He could not participate in the fight. But he had a crucial use. He was the key to using Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's human path methods. After making sure Old Man Zheng Yuan was safe, Fairy Ziwei returned to the battlefield. Calamity Luck Altar was floating in the air, blocking the entrance to the Refinement Path formation. Within the formation space, Bull Demon and 5 Elements Grandmaster were already fighting against the two Heavenly Court rank 8s. With a cry, Fairy Ziwei had countless thoughts rained down like a meteor storm, crashing towards Calamity Luck Altar. This was an extraordinary immortal killer move. With the amplification of Star Constellation Chessboard, even Calamity Luck Altar could not ignore it. Bing Sichuan healed his injuries while he controlled Calamity Luck Altar to resist Fairy Ziwei. Fairy Ziwei's Star Constellation Chessboard was also a rank 8 Immortal Gu House created by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, while Calamity Luck Altar was created by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. The fight between two Immortal Gu houses was also akin to the fight between Giant Sun Immortal Venerable and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. At once, the scene was intense. Both sides went all out with their abilities. Rank 8 Immortal Killer moves had incredible power, but thankfully Heavenly Court was defended by past Venerable's methods. It was not destroyed. As the battle went on, Fairy Ziwei's breathing became heavier. Even though she controlled Star Constellation Chessboard, it was tiny and could be held in one hand. Compared to it, Calamity Luck Altar was huge and blocked the formation entirely. It had an advantage. During this time, Fairy Ziwei also wanted to save Duke Long. But Duke Long was bound by silvery chains made by Limitless Demon Venerable's method. Once Fairy Ziwei got close, she felt a strong repulsion force. Any immortal killer move she used was also dispelled by the chains. Thankfully, this was a form of protection for Duke Long. Even though he was in the battlefield, he was completely unharmed. Meanwhile, the palaces around him were turned into ruins. There were many crevices and pits all over the area. Damn it, damn it. Duke Long gritted his teeth. He continued to struggle, but there was no effect. This is not going well. Fairy Ziwei had a heavy heart. She was engaged in a long fight. She could not help Yuan Xiongdu, who was inside the formation. Even though Longevity Heaven did not bring many Gu immortals, all of them who came were rank 8 elites. They had their respective roles. At this rate, they might really be able to take Fate Gu away. Right when Fairy Ziwei felt helpless against the situation, a corner of Heavenly Court shook intensely. Auras started to grow from nowhere, rapidly expanding. That is, the Immortal Graveyard. Fairy Ziwei was overjoyed. Heavenly Court's Immortal Graveyard had countless rank 8 experts. It was unfathomable. Not even Fairy Ziwei knew how many rank 8s were sleeping there. At the critical moment, Heavenly Court finally expended its foundation. The slumbering Gu immortals sensed it and awakened from their slumber. You dare attack my Heavenly Court, you are courting death. With an explosive voice, a muscular Gu immortal with a bare head jumped up, his body flying into the sky as his cold gaze stared at Calamity Luck Altar. While he said that, his figure vanished on the spot. Such speed! Bing Sichuan was shocked. At the next moment, with a loud crash, Calamity Luck Altar fell like a toppling mountain. It was sent flying by a huge force. A huge black bear that was even larger than Calamity Luck Altar stood at where it was blocking earlier. Fairy Ziwei's eyes shined brightly. This is Senior Zhang Fei Xiong, a transformation path great expert of Heavenly Court. He is most skilled in bear-type transformations, his strength can rival mountains, his power can move the earth. The juniors are too useless, outsiders actually managed to attack Heavenly Court so deeply. Central Great Hall was destroyed. A voice resounded again. Comment. An old Gu immortal appeared in the air. He had a pale face and thin body, he looked like he was sick. Right now, he sat on a wheelchair, his body seemed weak but his eyes shined with cold light, it made people feel fear and worry. Ah! Fairy Ziwei gasped, Lord Gulu Ru. Sigh, he is a time path great expert, if he had woken earlier to defend the river of time, taking the place of Senior Li Huang, Fang Yuan would not have escaped. Calamity Luck Altar flew into the sky again, as Gulu Ru pointed his finger at it. The entire rank 8 immortal Gu house started to move several times as slowly. Zhang Fei Xiong laughed loudly as he pounced, crashing into Calamity Luck Altar as he pressed down on it, suppressing it. Who woke me up? Sigh, I am so old, if I sleep any less, I will get more wrinkles, I will be ugly. Little sister, don't you agree? A beautiful figure appeared beside Fairy Ziwei all of a sudden. Fairy Ziwei was taken aback, she did not sense anything. Junior greets Senior Wan Zihong. Fairy Ziwei bowed respectfully. Don't call me senior, call me sister. Look, are there more wrinkles near my eyes now? This newly awakened female immortal got close to Fairy Ziwei as she asked with deep concern. Fairy Ziwei looked at the snow-white, beautiful and flawless face, she was speechless but her expression became very polite, there are no wrinkles, Wan, sister, you are too worried. She was very cautious. Because this female immortal Wan Zihong did not have an ordinary background. Most of Heavenly Court's members were chosen from Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects, but this Wan Zihong was once a great demon that wreaked havoc in Western Desert, she was absorbed by Heavenly Court to become one of its members. Zhang Fei Xiong, Gulu Ru, Wan Zihong, one by one, Heavenly Court's Gu immortals woke up from the immortal graveyard. At once, the numbers on each side became tilted, the situation changed drastically. So many reinforcements at once? Are there more? Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan laughed loudly. In this dangerous situation, he was still able to laugh. Fairy Ziwei had a bad feeling, since Longevity Heaven was attacking Heavenly Court, how could they not expect the situation in the immortal graveyard? Do you know why I bought Calamity Luck Altar? Because the killer move of a former demon venerable is in it. At this moment, Bing Sai Chuan's gaze became deep and unfathomable. But what method gave him such confidence? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1716, Number 1 Battle Strength Among Legendary Immemorial Beasts. Chapter 1716, Number 1 Battle Strength Among Legendary Immemorial Beasts. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Hidden Dragon Cave Battlefield. The super-immortal formation suppressing Di Zhongsheng was broken by Eastern Sea's rank 8s, it was half collapsed, only the central core area was still active. Old man Bei Feng was heavily injured, he could barely hold down the situation. His grandson Feng Chanzi was beside him, waiting for Heavenly Court's reinforcements to no avail. The despair on Feng Chanzi's face became increasingly deep. Outside the central area, Eastern Sea's rank 8s completely surrounded this formation. Hua Clan First Supreme Elder Hua Kai Yun let out an immemorial cloud beast, it continued to dwindle away at the formation's core. This is Heavenly Court's creation after all, even just the core of the formation can resist my cloud beast's corrosion. Hua Kaiyun sighed. Roar. At this time, a loud dragon roar could be heard from deep within the abyss, it was ground shaking. Sound waves reverberated, causing the entire earth trench to tremor, countless rocks started to fall off the earth trench's cliffs. Eastern Sea's rank 8s looked at the abyss below them worriedly, Shen Songxing urged, the formation is half destroyed, it cannot suppress Di Zongxing anymore, to avoid problems, we need to act now. Di Zongxing was a very unique legendary immemorial desolate beast. Because it was created from the power of Central Continent's earth veins, it was born from endless hatred, anger, and grudges. Thus, it bore natural hatred and killing intent towards humans, and most importantly, unless its source was destroyed, it would never die. It had once caused great trouble to Heavenly Court. Eastern Sea's Gu immortals did not want to fight Di Zongxing for no reason. They wanted to take away Dragon Palace to regain their reputation. If Di Zongxing was released, it would continue to find trouble with Heavenly Court and Central Continent. It is ready. Song Qiyuan nodded. Puff. He muttered lightly. Read more chapter on novel full. Immortal killer move, broken mirror shard light. Crack. With a loud sound resembling a mirror falling on the ground and shattering into countless pieces. The entire formation core area's light halo also shattered like a mirror, exposing Old Man Bei Feng and Feng Chanzi who were inside. No. Feng Chanzi was so scared he quickly screamed and moved back. Song Qiyuan's killer move was very special. It created no commotion when used at first, only after a long period of nurturing would it catch people off guard and create an unexpected result. This broken mirror shard light was Song Qiyuan's proud method. It was mostly used against stationary enemies like formations. The formation broke, Di Zongxing growled loudly, the sound waves created shook the entire earth trench. Quick, make use of the time. Eastern Sea's rank 8s attacked. I am going to die. Feng Chanzi fell backwards, he was so scared he shut his eyes, shivering with a distorted expression, awaiting his death. Old Man Bei Feng sighed deeply, he could not fight anymore, the difference in strength was too big, he could only wait for his death. Don't kill him, let me capture him alive. Shen Zongxing suddenly said. Eastern Sea's Gu immortals halted their attacks. They were quite surprised. Did Shen Zongxing have a method to capture a rank 8 Gu immortal alive? Everyone, take a good look. Shen Zongxing smiled confidently, go. The Eastern Sea immortals saw that countless threads appeared around Old Man Bei Feng's body, he was wrapped up like a cocoon. This is a new killer move that I created recently, it is called Lingering Sound. Shen Zongxing explained. Old Man Bei Feng had a furious expression, he was already prepared for death, but these Eastern Sea Gu immortals actually wanted to capture him alive, it was a great humiliation. Eastern Sea's immortals were quiet. It seemed like Shen Zongxing could really capture rank 8 Gu immortals. Even though Old Man Bei Feng was defenseless at the moment, Shen Zongxing's method was still quite threatening. Rank 8 Gu immortals had very deep foundations, it was evident from seeing Shen Zongxing's method. Old Man Bei Feng could not resist, as for Feng Chanzi, he was already shivering from fear. Eastern Sea's immortals did not even bother with this cowardly rank 6 immortal. Shen Zongxing used his immortal killer move to its limit and captured Old Man Bei Feng. The value of a living rank 8 Gu immortal was much higher than a dead one. Forget about the rest, just the reputation gained from capturing a great expert of the same rank was enough for Shen Zongxing and the entire Shen clan's reputation to soar in Eastern Sea. The other immortals started to look for Immortal Gu House Dragon Palace. They had come here together for this rank 8 Immortal Gu House. Soon, Zhang Yin found something. Over there. He pointed with an excited expression, before using an investigative immortal killer move. After using the killer move, an Immortal Gu House appeared, it floated above everyone's head, it was several tens of meters on top of Old Man Bei Feng. The Eastern Sea immortals were overjoyed, what else but Dragon Palace could this be? Other than Shen Zongxing, the other Eastern Sea immortals quickly gathered with an excited expression. Shen Zongxing concentrated on dealing with Old Man Bei Feng, he felt no anxiety. Before coming here, the Eastern Sea immortals had already set an alliance agreement, it had quite the binding force. The rule was, if Eastern Sea's immortals obtained Dragon Palace, everyone would get a share. As for the share, it would depend on how much effort they put in. Since Dragon Palace appeared, Song Qiyuan and the rest started to try and capture it. But after using several killer moves, Dragon Palace only shook, it did not acknowledge a new owner. This immortal Gu house is really extraordinary. Dragon Palace's fierce resistance made the Eastern Sea immortals even more excited, their desire for Dragon Palace rose even more. Gradually, while trying to capture it, they realized a huge secret. So that's it. Heavenly Court placed immortal Gu house Dragon Palace here to try and tame Di Zongsheng. Even though Di Zongsheng was born from the earth vein and negative emotions, it is still considered a dragon, it is countered by Dragon Palace, thus there is a possibility of subduing it. Duke Long has a good plan indeed. Now that the 5 regions' earth veins are becoming one, and Di Zongsheng's power comes from the earth vein, once they combine, Di Zongsheng's power will rise by at least 5 times. Don't forget, when the earth veins become one and the 5 regional walls vanish, the world would be in chaos and conflict. By then, there will be a great amount of fear, hatred, jealousy, and other emotions. With that, Di Zongsheng's strength will rise again. Eastern Sea's immortals conversed as some gasped. At this rate, among the legendary immemorial desolate beasts, Di Zongsheng might become the number 1 among them. It already had peak rank 8 battle strength to begin with, after the boost, it might even be able to reach pseudo-immortal venerable. No wonder Duke Long paid a huge price to obtain Dragon Palace, he wanted to subdue a pseudo-immortal venerable battle strength to suppress the situation. Thankfully we came to stop Heavenly Court's plan, otherwise, we will have trouble during the 5 regions' chaotic war. Eastern Sea's immortals were very glad. No wonder we could only hear dragon roars even though the formation broke, Di Zongsheng has not escaped yet. Right now, Dragon Palace is suppressing Di Zongsheng, we need to wait a bit more. That's right, after Dragon Palace subdues Di Zongsheng, not only would we gain a rank 8 immortal Gu house, we will also gain an existence with great battle strength. If Heavenly Court finds out, they would probably puke blood. Hahaha, truly fantastic, fantastic. Emperor City Battlefield. Immortal Killer Move, Great Thief Ghost Hand. Fang Yuan activated it in succession, Heavenly Court's immortal Gu houses avoided them wherever the ghost hands went. Great Thief Ghost Hand could steal Gu worms, Fang Yuan could use this killer move to steal rank 8 immortal Gu, even if they were hiding inside the grotto heavens of Gu immortals. The essence of immortal Gu houses was the combination of Gu worms to create a stable form. It could be seen as a combination of many killer moves, or a mobile immortal formation. Be it immortal killer move, immortal Gu house, or immortal formation, they were all ways to use Gu worms. Even though they appear different, the essence was the same. Great Thief Ghost Hand could even steal Gu worms inside immortal apertures, not to mention immortal Gu houses which were essentially mobile immortal formations that exposed their Gu worms on the outside. Undeniably, Great Thief Ghost Hand countered immortal Gu houses. Fang Yuan relied on Great Thief Ghost Hand to attack, managing to steal many Gu worms. He had targeted immortal Gu houses before, but that was Great Space Temple which had a method that resisted Great Thief Ghost Hand. In truth, most immortal Gu houses did not have a way to counter Fang Yuan's Great Thief Ghost Hand. The immortal Gu house defense line that Heavenly Court meticulously created became a huge mess because of Fang Yuan's interference and influence. Scoundrel Fang Yuan, accept your death. At the critical moment, Li Huang shouted as he pounced at Fang Yuan with verdant sun flame cloak on him. Heavenly Court's immortal Gu houses could not deal with Fang Yuan, but their Gu immortals could. It was much harder for Great Thief Ghost Hand to steal immortal Gu from immortal apertures than immortal Gu houses. Especially when Li Huang had verdant sun flame cloak, it could defend against Fang Yuan's Great Thief Ghost Hand. Fang Yuan saw that Li Huang had approached him, he advanced instead of retreating. Li Huang, you finally showed up at long last, I've been waiting for you. At the next moment, Fang Yuan turned into the immemorial year monkey and spitted. Instantly, Spring Scissors' killer move flew out, tearing through space as it targeted Li Huang. Next, Fang Yuan breathed in deeply as the monkey grabbed empty space with both hands, pulling out a huge fan out of nowhere. It was immortal killer move, Summer Fan. Snip. What? Li Huang had a shocked gaze as the cloak on his back became torn, its defense was greatly lowered. Fan. Whoosh. Intense winds blew, the world changed colors. Li Huang was hit as he flew far away due to the wind. How did his strength rise so drastically? Li Huang looked at the tiny spark left on his verdant sun flame cloak as he showed an ugly expression. Because when he got attacked earlier, he saw that the situation was bad and activated verdant sun flame cloak once again. This fire path defensive killer move had a great attribute, it could be used consecutively and stacked. The weakness was that the expended immortal essence would be twice as high. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1717, Call of the Ancient. Chapter 1717, Call of the Ancient. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Li Huang, don't tell me this is your full strength. Fang Yuan roared, his body moved like a flash, rampaging in the battlefield, chasing after Li Huang. Li Huang retreated as he activated verdant sun flame cloak again and again. Spring scissors continued to fly around him, cutting up all of the flame cloaks on his back. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed with sharp light, the immortal killer move's aura surged for an instant. Damn it! Li Huang sensed something and became alert, he quickly changed directions. Fang Yuan's time path killer move did not hit Li Huang, his battle experience was too rich. Lord Li Huang, let us help you. At this moment, wind-sweeping building came to reinforce him. It was surrounded by a wall of wind, it could resist great thief ghost hand to some extent. Fang Yuan snickered with disdain, get lost. Immortal killer move, summer fan. Tornadoes swept all over the place, wind-sweeping building was forced to a halt. There was no choice, summer fan's wind was just an appearance, the true essence was time path's power. Wind-sweeping building was a wind path immortal Gu house, it was not good against such time path killer moves. Li Huang could only continue to escape. Fang Yuan's strength had risen absurdly, it was shocking to everyone. Inside Emperor City, the Gu masters continued with the final competition. The Gu immortals guarding Emperor City had already isolated all of the noise outside, these Gu masters could concentrate on refining Gu. Read more chapter on novel full. To think that even Lord Li Huang is not this demon Fang Yuan's match. This demon is too impressive, he had obtained many venerable inheritances, his demonic might is truly terrifying. But don't worry, even though Emperor City is a mortal Gu house, it contains human path methods, at the crucial moment, immortal killer moves will protect us all. The Gu immortals encouraged each other and raised their morale. Emperor City was the #1 city of humanity, it used a vast number of mortal Gu to build. Even though the city had relocated a dozen times and was no longer at its original spot, it had an immensely long history, it could be traced back to the era where humanity rose, this was the first Emperor City built as a result of primordial origin immortal venerables decision. Fang Yuan, don't be too arrogant, face me instead. Rank 8 Gu immortal Qingyi saw that the situation was bad, he had to enter the battle. Li Huang saw the chance and did not escape, he fought alongside Qingyi. Fang Yuan shouted loudly, he disregarded the immortal essence expenditure and activated killer moves targeting Emperor City. Li Huang and Qingyi blocked Fang Yuan from the front, but after his barrage of attacks, they were forced to move back. This sight made the Western Desert Gu immortals go into a daze. Fang Yuan is so ferocious. No wonder he could oppose Heavenly Court for so many years and still remain unharmed. We will detour around him, try not to provoke this person. That's right, we will focus on destroying Emperor City. Infallible Blessed Land Battlefield. Farewell Friend Wind. This is actually Farewell Friend Wind. Seeing Wu Yong's moves succeed against Chen Yi, the Central Continent Gu immortals defending the immortal formation felt deep fear within them. This Farewell Friend Wind had an incredible origin, it was created by a peculiar genius. This peculiar genius was named Daoist Black Heart. He cultivated Wind Path but gained a lot of insight from reading the legends of Renzu during his later years. After nearly 10 years of closed cultivation, he created Farewell Friend Wind Killer Move. This was a wind path method that had the profundities of human path. Its power was extraordinary. After creating this move, Daoist Black Heart started to make friends all over the place. He often sacrificed his own gains for his friends. Initially, the 5 regions Gu immortals did not know the reason. They were very friendly towards Daoist Black Heart, who often gave them expensive gifts. Even those who did not want to befriend Daoist Black Heart were unwilling to antagonize him. They pretended to be friendly with him. But it was all Daoist Black Heart's scheme. Any killer move had a process of sensing the target. Like Fang Yuan's lead soul into Dream Killer move, it needed to sense the enemy's soul. Otherwise, this killer move could not be used. Even if many Gu immortals cannot unravel immortal killer moves, they can target this process and defend themselves. But Farewell Friend Wind was special. It could only sense friends and target them. The friend here did not refer to just true friends. Even fake friends or superficial friends with ill intentions were detectable. Using this move, Daoist Black Heart became renowned in the 5 regions. He was extremely famous and nobody dared to provoke him. Afterwards, when many people got attacked by it, through the deductions of Wisdom Path Gu immortals, the truth behind Farewell Friend Wind was finally exposed. Many Gu immortals who learned of Farewell Friend Wind's secret scolded Daoist Black Heart for his vicious heart. Countless people who once called Daoist Black Heart their friend started to shudder in fear and unease. In this world, there were no invincible killer moves. Soon, one of Farewell Friend Wind's weaknesses was exposed. To activate it, the user had to directly touch the body of the target Gu immortal. Even though Farewell Friend Wind was strong, with these 2 problems, it became easier to deal with. Even though Daoist Black Heart became very famous and renowned, he became extremely lonely in his final years. Everyone avoided him like the plague. Towards the end of his life, he was all alone. It was a bitter ending. Wu Yong's possession of Farewell Friend Wind shocked all of the immortals here. But regardless, Wu Yong succeeded and Chen Yi was hit. He was going to die. Everyone realized this. Bai Tsang Shui shrieked as she charged at Wu Yong. Wu Yong's body flickered as he vanished on the spot. Bai Tsang Shui grabbed onto Chen Yi. Even though he was no longer floating, he could not move. Even his eyebrows and skin started to erode. Wu Yong appeared before the Southern Border Immortals again. This time, the Southern Alliance Immortals looked at him with a complex gaze. There were wariness, fear, and respect all in their eyes. Wu Yong possesses Farewell Friend Wind Killer move. It is equivalent to Fang Yuan's Reverse Flow Protection Seal. This is a trump card that can change the situation around once it is used. Since when did Wu Yong become friends with Chen Yi? How hard can it be? When doing business in Treasure Yellow Heaven, wouldn't everyone call each other friends anyway? Compared to that, I am more worried about Wu Yong's schemes. Wu Yong still stood in front of the Southern Alliance Immortals. He looked at Chen Yi, who was far away, praising, as expected of Heavenly Court's Gu Immortal, the former First Supreme Elder of Heavenly Lotus Sect. Your defense is incredible. This is the first time I've seen anyone disintegrate so slowly from my Farewell Friend Wind. He seemed to be praising the enemy, but he was also flaunting his own battle strength. The Southern Alliance Gu Immortals quickly responded. That's right, there had never been anyone who survived a hit from Farewell Friend Wind. Chen Yi is dead meat. With Lord Wu Yong around, Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals are just a disoriented bunch after all. Heavenly Court Battlefield. Inside the Gu Refinement Formation. 2 huge battles were underway. Spear. Heavenly Court's rank 8 Che Wei shouted. Immediately, a gigantic black spear that was the size of an ancient tree shot towards 5 Elements Grandmaster. Arrow. Che Wei shouted again. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Countless arrows appeared out of nowhere. They rained down and enveloped 5 Elements Grandmaster. But 5 Elements Grandmaster remained standing. Even though he was attacked endlessly, he still had the time to talk. Impressive, Che Wei, you are about to create a new path, these killer moves are very interesting. But it is useless, you cannot break the protection of my 5 elements ring. Blade. Che Wei ignored 5 elements Grandmaster, he held a large blade and charged up to fight 5 elements Grandmaster in close combat. At the same time, at another battle, Bull Demon took the initiative to attack while Heavenly Court's Gu Immortal Song Yen defended himself. Bull Demon's attacks were ferocious, each movement created layers of phantom shadows. These shadows were able to attack, and by cooperating with Bull Demon, he could often unleash terrifying attacks that were unexpected. Each time Song Yen was hit, his body would vibrate. He cultivated Rule Path, there were countless blue lines on his skin, resembling tattoos. These lines were either thin or thick, some crisscrossed and formed a web that protected Song Yen tightly. It seems that they can't get past for the time being. Yuan Xiongdu was still refining Gu, his heart eased slightly. Longevity Heaven's duo chose close combat, they are purposely restraining their attacks because they fear that they might destroy the refinement path formation and cause my efforts to be in vain. It seems that they want to snatch Fate Gu, they have a certain requirement towards Fate Gu's recovery. Yuan Xiongdu was made a member of Heavenly Court, he was naturally very shrewd, he quickly analyzed Longevity Heaven's intention. Calm down, I must calm down, otherwise, if I make any human mistakes, even the success Dao marks cannot help me. Persevere. Gu Immortals are awakening in the Immortal Graveyard, our battle strength will continue to rise, Longevity Heaven will be forced to despair. Yuan Xiongdu was thinking about that when suddenly, Bing Sai Chuan smiled coldly, do you know why I bought Calamity Luck Altar? Because the killer move of a former demon venerable is in it. As he said that, Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals were already attacking Calamity Luck Altar together. But soon, a golden light burst out of Calamity Luck Altar. Next, the sound of waves emerged around the entire battlefield. The phantom image of a segment of the Grand River of Time appeared above Calamity Luck Altar. Comment. Next, the Immortal Killer move activated as figures walked out of the River of Time. The first person to emerge saw that Calamity Luck Altar was suppressed by a huge bear, he roared in anger, your bear guts are huge, eat my exploding lightning. Boom! The giant bear that Zhang Fei Xiong transformed into was forced back by 5 to 6 steps, his face had suffered the impact of the explosion, his injuries were deep, blood was all over his face. Who are you? Report your name. A Heavenly Court Gu Immortal attacked the person. The person laughed maniacally, you do not even know me, New Air Bao Xiong. Then let me show you my exploding lightning killer move, I will blow you to bits, remember my name. Boom boom boom. The savage power exploded continuously, Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals were like kites with their strings cut, they flew out uncontrollably. Before they landed on the ground, they had already lost consciousness, it was unknown if they were still alive. To think that I can use this move to come to the future and participate in a huge battle, I am truly fortunate. The second Northern Plains Gu Immortal who walked out of the Phantom River of Time smiled. He pointed his finger at Calamity Luck Altar, dispelling the Time Path killer move that was used on it as it regained its speed. You broke my killer move. Who are you? Gu Lu Ru who used the killer move had a dark gaze. The Northern Plains Gu Immortal smiled as he looked at Gu Lu Ru, what a coincidence, we both cultivate Time Path, let us fight. As for my name, it is quite common, I am called Hei Fan. Next, the third person walked out of the Phantom River of Time after Hei Fan. Wow! What a huge battle, oh my heaven, I better hide somewhere. The third Northern Plains Gu Immortal had a delicate white face, he had a crafty look. Saying so, he vanished. One by one, Northern Plains Gu Immortals walked out and joined the battlefield. Fairy Zi Wei's heart pounded, New Air Bao Xiong, Hei Fan, and that Lu 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 who vanished, they are all rank 8 experts of the Northern Plains Huang Jin tribes. What killer move is this, it can actually bring these people out of the past segment of the River of Time and into battle. This killer move was simply too unbelievable, Fairy Zi Wei felt like she was dreaming. Fairy Ziwei was confused, but Duke Long was not. Seeing this, Duke Long's expression froze as his memories surfaced once more. As the dust cloud settled, Red Lotus spit out blood from his severe injuries, while Duke Long remained standing. Red Lotus, are you still not attacking? Even though you have future self, after rebirth you only have rank 8 cultivation level. Your current future self is also at rank 8, you are still some distance away from regaining your immortal venerable battle strength. Duke Long had a cold expression, his eyes were spewing fire from rage, burning Red Lotus's heart. That's right, my future self-killer move has some flaws, but even without flaws, how can I attack you, Master? Red Lotus smiled bitterly. So that is the reason why you have been avoiding me since the start of the battle instead of attacking me? Duke Long scoffed, Red Lotus, if you truly respect me as your master, you should stop fooling around. Accept the arrangement of fate and become a Gu Venerable again, we can forget everything and start anew. Master, I understand your intention, but you do not understand mine. Red Lotus sighed. Duke Long was even more furious now, since you do not want to attack me, and yet you want to continue with this, are you forcing me to kill you? Of course not. Red Lotus shook his head, a faint smile appearing on his flawless face. Master, after taking hits for such a long time, my killer move is finally ready, please critique it. Saying so, the phantom image of the River of Time appeared behind him as Gu immortals walked out one by one. Duke Long's expression changed, what killer move is this? I created a pair of killer moves, they are known as Call of the Ancient, Support of the Future. This move can summon Gu immortals closely related to the user from the River of Time to come forward and battle. I am using the latter move, Support of the Future, now. Red Lotus smiled lightly. Duke Long's expression was grim, he was shivering from anger, your action is defying heaven and earth, you are actually using the River of Time to interfere with the flow of history, your demonic nature is too deeply rooted. What about the first move? Go ahead and use it. No, Master, the first move, Call of the Ancient, will appear before you in the future at a certain timing. Red Lotus smiled as he said. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1718, Heavenly Court's Chaotic Battle. Chapter 1718, Heavenly Court's Chaotic Battle. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Heavenly Court Battlefield. Figures danced in the sky or fought on the ground. Intense explosions continued to resound, sparks were flying, bright lights were flashing. Northern Plains Gu immortal experts fought against Heavenly Court's members. Boom! In an instant, a loud explosion occurred as the black bear that was large as a mountain lost its right shoulder, a huge piece of flesh went missing, even its shoulder bone was shattered. The black bear had a painful expression as it shut its eyes, it had fainted from the explosion. Rumble. Next, its body fell like a mountain, in the end, a huge pit was formed on the ground. Above it, a Northern Plains Gu immortal was laughing in the sky, the killer move Twilight Lightning that I, New Air Bao Xiong, possess is not so easy to deal with. Even if your transformation path grants you strong defenses, I have already killed so many transformation path Gu immortals in my life, ahahaha. He cultivated lightning path solely, he was once a brutal slaughterer that roamed Northern Plains Gu immortal world unhindered. When he was the first supreme elder of New Air tribe, it became the #1 force of Northern Plains without doubt. But New Air Bao Xiong's laughter came to a stop as a delightful female voice resounded, shameless words, I also cultivate transformation path on the side, come and kill me. Which stupid. New Air Bao Xiong had just turned around and spoke when he saw a bright red light flash before him. Before he reacted, he heard a loud explosion as flames scattered everywhere, dust clouds rose. Read more chapter on novel full. He fell from the sky, his body was still burning with blazing flames. The time is now, save Zhang Fei Xiong. Gu Lu Ru who was sitting in a wheelchair shouted as he pointed. Instantly, the black bear that Zhang Fei Xiong had transformed into flickered with a shining light. His life was preserved. Humph, I like to kill people, not save them. A shadow tore through the sky, rushing down and approaching Zhang Fei Xiong. It was one Zihong. She was extremely beautiful and enchanting. She cultivated wood path and was originally a demonic path Gu immortal. She had a deep killing nature but was recruited by Heavenly Court. This Zhang Fei Xiong is quite impressive. Even though he fainted, his transformation did not vanish. One Zihong had a look of alertness as she charged into Zhang Fei Xiong's right shoulder, wound without stopping. The moment she went in, Wan Zihong scattered into pink petals that landed on the bloody wound. The flower petals had a dense fragrant smell. Flowers started to grow on the bloody wound. The petals of the flowers fell again on the surrounding flesh. More and more flowers grew as a sea of flowers was formed. Zhang Fei Xiong's flesh and blood was quickly replenished. He was healing at an observable pace. Humph. In the sky, New Air Bao Xiong had a grim expression. Even though he had strong lightning path killer moves, Heavenly Court's Gu immortals were not weak either. One Zihong's healing method actually got rid of the lightning path Dao marks that he landed on Zhang Fei Xiong. He was healing rapidly and effectively. It was as if one Zihong's wood path Dao marks and Zhang Fei Xiong's transformation path Dao marks did not conflict with each other. New Air Bao Xiong only took one glance, but his enemy made use of that timing to find a weakness. A flash of red light appeared as New Air Bao Xiong got hit again. His body was covered in flames. Seeing this, New Air Bao Xiong gave up on chasing after Zhang Fei Xiong. He shook off the flames and looked at his enemy. Who are you? As a Heavenly Court member, are you going to hide your appearance and act so shady? The red light that was flying in the sky laughed loudly as it flickered left and right without stopping. New Air Bao Xiong could only watch without having a chance to land an attack. It should be Senior Zhu Ke. She cultivates fire path and transformation path. Her battle style counters New Air Bao Xiong. Seeing this, Fairy Ziwei expressed joy on her face. As time passed, more and more Gu immortals woke up from the immortal graveyard. Zhu Ke was one of them. But Longevity Heaven's time path killer move is too powerful. It is still summoning more people. Fairy Ziwei looked towards Calamity Luck Altar and the Phantom River of Time as her heart shook with worry. This is likely Red Lotus Demon Venerable's killer move. Lord Duke Long might know something. Fairy Ziwei had been searching for a chance. She wanted to enter the battlefield and save Duke Long. But Duke Long's position was not good. He was quite near Calamity Luck Altar. Below the Phantom River of Time, there were Northern Plains Gu immortals moving about constantly. If Fairy Ziwei charged in to save him, the risks would be huge, and she had her own job to do. Earlier, both Venerables appeared in Imperfection Regret Pavilion. Even though Duke Long was hit by the rank 9 killer move and got restricted, his life is not in danger. I have an important mission. I need to provide immortal Gu to the newly awakened Gu immortals. I also need to protect Old Man Jing Yuan. He is one of the most important elements of this battle. Fairy Ziwei squinted. She stayed at the back and did not move out. Duke Long had instructed her earlier before he left. She had to take charge of the situation. Clang! A golden light suddenly flickered before Fairy Ziwei's eyes. When the light faded, a Northern Plains Gu immortal was seen. He had dark skin tone and sharp eyes, constantly emitting a brave aura. He was an expert of Yi Lui tribe, Yi Lui Ko. He cultivated metal path and was a great expert part of the second batch who left the River of Time. When Yi Lui Ko was a youngster, he stood out with his ferocious nature and sharp foresight. He could often see the most important elements of a battle. During the Imperial Court contest, he often fought alone, charging towards an army single-handedly, killing the enemy's leader under everyone's watchful gaze. He was unstoppable. After becoming a Gu immortal, he plundered many places and targeted the enemy's weakness. As a righteous path Gu immortal, he had a terrible reputation on par with demonic path members. But his reputation changed after reaching rank 8. By that point, everyone in Northern Plains Gu immortal world feared him. All of the accusations and grudges towards him turned into superficial reverence and slander in secret. Fairy Ziwei's heart jumped, facing Yi Lui Ko's gaze. She felt like a rabbit sprinting in the plains. while being targeted by a hawk. She quickly retreated, her body vanishing among the palaces. This damned Qi wall. Yi Lui Ko had an irritated expression. He had a keen sense towards any battle, he could detect the enemy's weakness and target it with great precision. This was a talent that he was born with. But his plan was ruined by primordial origin Immortal Venerable's Qi Wall Killer move that was left in Heavenly Court. This Qi Wall Killer move could discern enemy and ally, it did not obstruct Heavenly Court's members. But against Longevity Heaven's side, it was a huge problem. Northern Plains Gu immortals could only move around the road that Limitless Demon Venerable created to fight against Heavenly Court. Precisely so, the fight between rank 8s was fixed at a certain area. Heavenly Court had many important places like the Demon Judgment Board or the Immortal Graveyard, but these places were protected by the Qi Wall, Northern Plains Gu immortals could not go there. But in the battlefield, Northern Plains Gu immortals had the obvious upper hand. Heavenly Court's Gu immortals needed to rely on the Qi Wall to retreat at times, allowing them to continue this battle. Our Gu immortals had just woken up, they lack compatible Gu worms. Mortal Gu are still fine, but they are lacking many immortal Gu, this prevents their battle strength from being displayed. Fairy Ziwei was very worried. Heavenly Court's Gu immortals gave all their immortal Gu to Heavenly Court while they slept in the Immortal Graveyard. On one hand, resources had to be optimized, while Heavenly Court also needed to feed the immortal Gu. These immortal Gu were mostly used to construct immortal Gu houses, they created the countless pavilions and palaces in Heavenly Court. A small portion was handed out to certain people in the 10 sects, for example, Feng Jiu Ji's Fate Armor Immortal Gu. There were very few immortal Gu which were truly kept in the treasury on standby. Heavenly Court's Gu immortals were all elites among rank 8s, but because they lacked immortal Gu, they could not use their full power, even with abundant immortal essence, they could not change the situation. In contrast, Northern Plains side had Red Lotus Demon Venerable's Call of the Ancient Killer move, it was truly magnificent, they were able to go up against Heavenly Court's foundation that was accumulated over countless years. Duke Long was filled with pain and anger. At this crucial moment, he could not move, he could only watch as the battle unfolded. And most importantly, the one who created this situation was the beloved disciple that he had entrusted hope to in the past, Red Lotus Demon Venerable. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1719, Death Information. Chapter 1719, Death Information. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. This Call of the Ancient should be quite similar to Support of the Future. It is not truly bringing over Gu immortals from the past or future, it contains profundity similar to future self, it summons certain individuals from the river of time when they are at a particular state. Precisely so, these Northern Plains Gu immortals are all at their peak condition, they have all their immortal essence and immortal Gu. To unravel this move, the method should be similar to how I dealt with Support of the Future back then, you have to interrupt the person using the killer move. Right now, if we can cripple Calamity Luck Alter and accumulate enough damage, we should be able to stop this Call of the Ancient killer move. Duke Long was about to break his teeth from gritting, his deduction was not wrong. Unfortunately, he was restrained by the rank 9 killer move, he could not communicate with anyone using any method. Wow, such a beautiful sight. Another person walked out of the river of time, he had a jade-like face, he was elegant and gentlemanly. The life and death battle here was intense, it intoxicated him. He breathed in deeply as he spread his arms, sighing, it seems that this is the stage for me, Dong Fong Yu. Humph, Northern Plains brutes will be brutes, why are you pretending to be a gentleman, fight me. A Heavenly Court Gu immortal who had just retrieved his immortal Gu looked at Dong Fong Yu with a look of disdain, he charged over. He had the appearance of a little boy, he had black hair with a cowlick on top, together with his round and cute face, his head resembled a peach, it was extremely appealing. But the aura around him was overwhelming, it made Dong Fong Yu's expression change as he dodged. The boy's killer move missed, seeing Dong Fong Yu's pathetic state, he giggled, do you know the power of Vortex Space Boy now? Dong Fong Yu was very angry, my free-spirited nature is real, while you are just a disgusting old man pretending to be young even though you're half a step into your coffin. Vortex Space Boy's smile faded away as he charged at Dong Fangyu. Dong Fangyu was merely caught by surprise earlier. Now that he was on guard, he retaliated instead of escaping. Boom! Read more chapter on novel full. The two fought and their moves clashed. Powerful air currents shot towards another Northern Plains Gu immortal who emerged from the river of time. The wind is really strong, it almost blinded my eyes. This Northern Plains Gu immortal looked like an old farmer, his pants were rolled up, his legs were covered in mud, his back was hunched, wrinkles covered his face, and there was tobacco in his mouth. Sigh sigh. The old farmer had no killing intent, he sighed deeply as he said, I, Nian Er Nong Fu, cultivate Earth Path, I am most skilled in managing the immortal aperture. Rightfully so. Nian Er Nong Fu might not be the strongest rank 8 Gu immortal in Nian Er tribe history, but his influence was the deepest, he gave Nian Er tribe the greatest benefits. Because he was skilled in managing immortal apertures, even though Nian Er tribe's territory did not grow, their cultivation resources grew by more than 10 times, it was unthinkable. Yi Qiao Zi greets friend Nian Er. At this time, a heavenly court Gu immortal appeared, he was also a thin old man. You know who I am? Nian Er Nong Fu asked. Heavenly Court's Gu immortal smiled, I cultivate wood path, I am also skilled in growing resources. When I was still young, friend Nian Er was one of my goals. So that's it. Nian Er Nong Fu smiled. The two spoke in a harmonious tone, but they had already used their methods to fight, they were even fiercer than the other experts. As the red light flew around, New Er Baoxiong's expression became solemn, he continued to strike with his palms as lightning explosions occurred continuously. The red light's aura suddenly expanded, Zhu Ke had used a killer move, splitting into 8 red lights that shot towards New Er Baoxiong from different directions. New Er Baoxiong snorted coldly, he took a deep breath as a spherical shield resembling a lightning web surrounded and protected him. Bam bam bam. 7 red lights slammed into the lightning web shield, causing an intense explosion, the remaining red light was Zhu Ke's main body. My turn. New Er Baoxiong pulled at his own beard. Go. Strands of his beard shot out, raining down like a drizzle as they all turned into lightning spears, forming a tight formation as they shot towards Zhu Ke. Zhu Ke shouted loudly, the red light turning back into her body as a rainbow light emerged, the temperature of the surrounding air rose. Seeing that the two were about to use killer moves, the surrounding Gu immortals quickly went away. On the ground, Wan Zihong looked up with an expression of admiration, cursing in her heart, damn it, I lack most of my offensive immortal Gu, I have no attacking methods now. To think that I would become a healing Gu immortal one day, Wan Zihong's heart jumped with premonition, her pupils shrunk as she flickered, turning into countless petals and vanishing on the spot. At the next moment, a golden light flashed past her original location. Yi Lui Ko appeared on the ground as he snorted coldly, thinking, Heavenly Court's Gu immortals are truly elites, I actually missed my attack twice, but unless you escape into the Qi wall, you cannot escape. Saying so, he pointed with his index finger towards an empty spot. A golden ball first appeared at his fingertips before it exploded, a grand golden pillar shot out while pushing air aside, its speed was incredible. He actually discovered the location of my true body. Wan Zihong wanted to retreat but it was too late. The golden light was already right behind her, she had no choice but to turn around and defend herself desperately. Yi Lui Ko snickered, his move was not so easy to block. But at the next moment, his smile froze. He saw that the golden light pillar shrunk and went inside a Gu immortal's mouth. The Gu immortal ate Yi Lui Ko's entire killer move as he patted his belly with some lingering desire, to think that I would get to eat right after waking up. This heavenly court Gu immortal was quite fat, he had light-colored skin and smiled with a satisfied look. Who are you? Yi Lui Ko's gaze was cold. Zhao Shanhe. The fat man smiled, I will not let you kill our healing Gu immortal so easily. Yi Lui Ko did not speak, his aura surged as he prepared another powerful killer move. Wan Zihong grunted in anger, I do not want to bother with healing. If you give me all my immortal goo, I can fight 5 of them at once. At the other side, several Gu immortals were instructed by Fairy Ziwei as they charged towards Calamity Luck Altar together. Duke Long, who was lying on the ground, felt happy upon seeing this. Good, it seems that Fairy Ziwei has already deduced the weakness of Call of the Ancient Killer move. She is gathering troops to attack Calamity Luck Altar. Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan was leading the Northern Plains group. Seeing the Heavenly Court Gu immortals, he snorted, this Call of the Ancient Killer move is powerful, but it can only be used once. If Heavenly Court disrupts it, it will not be usable again. However, I've already saved some manpower to deal with your assaults. Calamity Luck Altar similarly contains several Northern Plains Gu immortals. They quickly flew outside and blocked the incoming Heavenly Court Gu immortals. Far away, Fairy Ziwei let out a sigh of relief. Thankfully, Bing Sai Chuan does not cultivate Wisdom Path. The situation has been stabilized. Fairy Ziwei chose the most optimal strategy. Even though Heavenly Court's side was on the weak side, Fairy Ziwei was still willing to gather forces to attack Calamity Luck Altar. This way, to stabilize the situation, Northern Plains would have to gather more people to defend themselves. The weaker Heavenly Court was attacking, while the stronger Northern Plains was defending. It was obvious that the attacker had more initiative. This allowed the Heavenly Court Gu immortals more time to recover. If they got injured, they would retreat to the Qi Wall and recuperate. When Northern Plains started to defend Calamity Luck Altar, Heavenly Court's Gu immortals felt their pressure lifting. They were more easily able to return to the Qi Wall for healing. Boom! 2 time path killer moves collided. Hei Fan and Gu Lu Ru spit out blood as they flew behind respectively. Gu Lu Ru wanted to retreat to the Qi Wall when a figure suddenly appeared. Just die. The figure appeared and disappeared instantly. Gu Lu Ru was merely inches from the Qi Wall, but he suddenly fell on the ground in disbelief, losing his life. The attacker was naturally Lu tribe's expert Lu Lu Lu. This person was crafty and scheming. He was called the disgrace of Northern Plains when he was alive, because he never fought openly with people. He bullied the weak while fearing the strong. He enjoyed sneak attacking people. His enemies often suffered severe losses, but could not even find a glimpse of Lu Lu Lu. They would spit out blood in anger. Gu Lu Ru's death made a great impact on the Gu immortals of both sides. Ever since Longevity Heaven joined the battle, this was the first sacrifice from Heavenly Court that had appeared. Gu Lu Ru did not have all his Gu worms, and most importantly, more and more Gu immortals were joining the battle. It was getting more intense. A certain threshold was reached. Like a signal, soon, the second and third sacrifices appeared. Yi Lui Ko finally succeeded in killing Wan Zihong, but he was also heavily injured by Zhao Shanhe. On Northern Plains' side, Hei Fan died. He and Gu Lu Ru had fought too intensely, and most importantly, he lacked good defensive killer moves. He was suddenly attacked by several Heavenly Court Gu immortals at once. All in all, Heavenly Court's sacrifices were larger in terms of Gu immortals. Damn it! These Gu immortals are the foundation of my Heavenly Court. They actually died like this. This was not worth it. Fairy Ziwei sighed deeply. The enemy's sacrifice was merely part of a killer move. If they used the killer move again, these dead Northern Plains Gu immortals could show up in battle again. These Northern Plains Gu immortals were not summoned with their true body after all. But Heavenly Court's Gu immortals were real lives even though their lifespan was limited. This time path rank 9 killer move should be the work of Red Lotus Demon Venerable. Damn it, he is too vicious. He totally targeted by Heavenly Court's weakness. Fairy Ziwei was furious but also helpless. Bing Sai Chuan's expression was similarly ugly. Because as time passed, he found that these summoned Northern Plains experts were falling in battle strength, and it was very evident. Soon, Fairy Ziwei also realized this. I understand, it is because Fate Gu's recovery is increasing rapidly, it is reaching full recovery. Fairy Ziwei's eyes flickered with hope, she was very happy, even though Red Lotus Demon Venerable's move is powerful, it uses the River of Time and manipulates history, it goes against fate. When Fate Gu is fully repaired, this move will also lose all effectiveness. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know in report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1720, Through Branches and Leaves. Chapter 1720, Through Branches and Leaves. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Fairy Ziwei's analysis was not wrong. Because when Fate Gu exists, ancient Gu immortals cannot come to the present, and future Gu immortals also cannot travel to the past. But because of Fate Gu's injuries, the restriction on time path was greatly reduced. Spring-Autumn Cicada was the best example, even though it could not allow a Gu immortal to return to the past, they could send their will back. Future Self, Call of the Ancient, Support of the Future, these killer moves were also making use of the past or future, projecting a person into the present from a certain point in time. When Fate Gu is fully restored, these killer moves would no longer work. Fairy Ziwei realized this, Bing Sai Chuan naturally knew this from the start. But there was no choice. The refinement path formation could not be destroyed, otherwise, Heavenly Court's attempt to repair Fate Gu would fail entirely. An overly damaged Fate Gu was useless even if Longevity Heaven obtained it, they would need to repair it by mimicking Heavenly Court's methods. But Bing Sai Chuan knew that Longevity Heaven did not have the deep foundation of Heavenly Court, they did not have human path methods or the infallible inheritance, they did not have the ability to repair Fate Gu. They could not destroy the refinement path formation, Longevity Heaven could only break past the formation and enter Heaven Overseeing Tower to take Fate Gu by force. Regarding this, Bing Sai Chuan had already sent 5 Elements Grandmaster and Bull Demon. But that was his limit. It was not like he did not want to add more people, the Phantom River of Time also had many Northern Plains experts emerging continuously as well. But this refinement path formation itself had its limit. This formation was meant to repair Fate Gu, it was not for combat. The formation space inside could only handle 5 rank 8s. Any more and the refinement path formation would be destroyed. Thus, Bing Sai Chuan did not send more people, while Central Continent also watched the situation inside without sending more people. The battle around Calamity Luck Altar involved countless historical experts, the battle was intense. But the most crucial battle was in the refinement path formation. Bing Sai Chuan gritted his teeth, thinking about the situation, even though our side is strong, we need to focus on defense, but overall, we still have the advantage. In the worst case, we will have to destroy this refinement path formation, even if we cannot take Fate Gu, we will make sure Heavenly Court's objective fails. Both sides did not want to destroy the refinement path formation, but if there was no choice, Longevity Heaven would have to destroy it and cause both sides to end up losing. Of course, Bing Sai Chuan was leading Longevity Heaven to attack Heavenly Court, their main objective was to snatch Fate Gu, if the formation was destroyed, they would have failed their objective. It is up to us now. Bull Demon had a clear understanding of the situation outside. Far away, 5 Elements Grandmaster also nodded as his expression turned serious. Suddenly, 5 Elements Grandmaster's body shook as an intense aura surged out, a powerful killer move shining in 5 colored lights shot towards his enemy Che Wei. Che Wei shouted loudly as he placed both hands in front of him, activating a killer move. Countless large shields appeared in front of him, even though there were loud cracking noises, these shields formed a wall and blocked the 5 colored lights. Damn it! 5 Elements Grandmaster intensified his attack, the 5 colored lights grew in power and destroyed shields after shields. But Che Wei's defenses were impenetrable, even though shields were broken, new ones quickly formed to replace them. Che Wei had outstanding defensive methods, 5 Elements Grandmaster felt a sense of helplessness. Within the refinement path formation, be it Che Wei or 5 Elements Grandmaster, they had to control their firepower, they could not destroy this refinement path formation recklessly. On the other side, Bull Demon and Song Yan's battle was also about the same. Undeniably, it was much better to be on the defensive for this battle. What do we do? Five Elements Grandmaster asked Bull Demon secretly. Bull Demon only replied, attack, try and lure their attention. Saying so, Bull Demon charged at Song Yan again, the two engaged in another fierce fight. Five Elements Grandmaster's heart shook. Bull Demon's words had deep meaning, he did not think anymore, he trusted longevity heaven and went to engage in a long fight with Che Wei. At the other end, Yuan Xiongdu was completely focused on manipulating the refinement path formation, putting his attention on repairing Fate Gu. While nobody noticed anything, a small flower resembling scattering petals landed towards Heaven Overseeing Tower inconspicuously. He. The flower landed into Heaven Overseeing Tower and turned into a little girl. It was none other than the female immortal flower lady who had died earlier. Oh no, someone entered the tower. Sensing this, Yuan Xiongdu was deeply shocked, he quickly shouted to alert the rest. He had to pay a huge price for this shout, his 7 orifices were bleeding, his mind was heavily injured, it directly cracked into 2 and could not merge together. Che Wei and Song Yan quickly retreated, they wanted to enter Heaven Overseeing Tower and stop Flower Lady from getting close to Fate Gu. Too late. Bull Demon laughed loudly, he joined forces with Five Elements Grandmaster as they restrained their enemies. Che Wei and Song Yan became more flustered, they scolded Bull Demon for being so shameless and unscrupulous, they actually schemed this deeply. This was Bull Demon and Flower Lady's biggest secret. They shared their lifespan together, if one of them died, as long as the other was still alive, they would revive after some time. After Flower Lady revived, she flew into Heaven Overseeing Tower, there were only 5 Gu Immortals in the Refinement Path Immortal formation, thus it did not break and was still operational. What do I do? Yuan Xiongdu's vision turned dark, his head was hurting, this was the toughest decision of his life. He controlled the Refinement Path formation, he could totally destroy Fate Gu and ruin all of Heavenly Court's hard work. If he did not do that, the enemy would obtain a nearly recovered Fate Gu, this would preserve Fate Gu and they might have a chance of getting it back. Of course, if they could not take it back, Heavenly Court's hard work would all be in vain, they would all benefit Longevity Heaven instead. This decision was too tough and Yuan Xiongdu's mind was heavily injured, his thinking speed fell greatly. When Flower Lady got to the top of Heaven Overseeing Tower and saw Fate Gu, Yuan Xiongdu had yet to make up his mind. Success! Flower Lady's eyes shined brightly, she stretched out her hand and wanted to grab Fate Gu. If she succeeds, she would be the biggest contributor of Longevity Heaven in this trip. But at this moment, on the walls of Heaven Overseeing Tower, a bamboo forest painting suddenly appeared. What is that? Flower Lady had a look of shock, she was very stunned. 300,000 years ago, during the medieval antiquity era. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable walked down Star Zone Mountain as he smiled bitterly in his heart. This is the chess game set by Limitless Demon Venerable and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, it contains the grand power of these two venerables as well as replenishment from Heavenly Court at all times. If I interfere forcefully, I would have to resist the joint power of two venerables. Of course, these are just two venerables' methods, they are not alive and cannot think like humans. After finding out information on them, I will be able to target them, but even if I succeed, that would only harm Heavenly Court. Since Star Constellation Immortal Venerable agreed to Limitless Demon Venerable's suggestion back then and created this chessboard together, she must have her considerations, this will definitely benefit Heavenly Court. I do not need to be a sinner. Even so, Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable was not completely assured. He thought about it as he walked, when he raised his head, he realized he had arrived at the top of Heaven Overseeing Tower. He suddenly lost all his frustrations, he smiled at the blank walls, that's right, I can leave my painting here. Unknown to everyone, he created a painting here. After he finished it, this painting vanished without a trace, it was so deeply concealed that even Heavenly Court did not know of it. Other than Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable, everyone was kept in the dark. 300,000 years later, this bamboo forest painting that nobody knew of appeared before Flower Lady. Flower Lady's hand was merely an inch away from Fate Gu, but this distance could not be breached. Flower Lady's body floated in the air, she could not move. Her gaze was completely in a daze. After looking at the bamboo forest painting for a moment, she fell into a multi-layered illusion. The bamboo forest was huge, but she was just a single person, she could not leave after getting lost. Flower Lady was very anxious, but there was nothing she could do. Winds blew as bamboo leaves shook, jade green light and shadows enveloped Flower Lady. Flower Lady, who was inside the bamboo forest, felt the world spinning as she fainted on the spot. But the bamboo forest painting did not vanish or freeze. The jade bamboos on the walls started to sway as if the wind was blowing. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Instantly, all of the immortals in battle heard the sound of the wind. On the wall, beautiful leaves that resembled jade fell off the branches. It was a beautiful sight. This wind that did not exist not only penetrated the refinement path immortal formation and reached the immortals' ears, it even entered Duke Long's heart. Instantly, Duke Long fell into an illusion too. He was lying on the ground, surrounded by thick jade bamboos. The wind was blowing, jade bamboo leaves were falling elegantly. Duke Long received almost the same treatment as Flower Lady, but he did not feel anything discomfort, his mind was getting clearer. At this instance, he could feel the pure power and profundity of Wood Path. He could feel the concealment of the bamboo forest, he could feel the pressure of the trees, he could feel the vitality and strength of the grass that grew out of the soil. Next, his limbs felt like the grass and trees, gaining new strength as they grew. With this newfound strength, Duke Long supported himself and stood up slowly, standing in the bamboo forest. In a daze, he seemed to have seen Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. He had the appearance of a young man, he was gentlemanly and polite, wearing green clothes and a white headband, his long hair was fluttering with the wind. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable smiled mildly as he walked past Duke Long slowly. His words could be heard from the gentle winds, the left is love, the right is affection, walking on both sides of life, scattering seeds and blooming flowers, making this journey full of flower fragrance, allowing the person who walks through branches and leaves to feel no pain even as they step on thorns, they can shed tears but feel no sadness. Saying so, Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable walked into the bamboo forest. You are Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. Duke Long turned around, only to see that Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable was vanishing among the bamboo trees. Only one sentence was left by him, remember, this move is called, through branches and leaves. At the next moment, Duke Long woke up. He was shocked to find that he was already standing, the silver chains that were binding him turned into bamboo leaves that scattered on the ground. These leaves looked like they were made from jade. TL note, Genesis words are a quote from the author Bing Xian. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.